Hello everyone and welcome back to Roscale Sandbox. Yes, today we are back and we are finally moving on from the military base. Now, I know we've been doing this a lot for the last couple of episodes, so I am really happy to be moving on. Now, if you didn't see in our last episode, we added this really cool plane, which I am super happy about and I think finishes off this area really nicely. But anyways, today's I've got big plans, and first of all, we are gonna start by extending the track. First things first, I'm going to pull out the ballast. And we're going to have to do a little bit of a left turn before we go right, just because there is a little bit of terrain in the way. And even though the terrain has stopped, I am going to continue adding the ballast for reasons that you guys will see in just a little bit. I mean, you probably already know what we are making due to the title and thumbnail of this video. And yeah, I think that is quite far enough for what I want to achieve. Now, what I'm going to do is add a little bit of land on the other side. You know, this is something I have never done before, but I think this is going to have a style that's different enough so that we can call it unique. Because unlike the viaduct that was all made out of bricks, I really want this dam to sort of be old, rickety and wooden. That's the sort of vibe that I'm going for. And a wooden texture is definitely something I feel this map is missing. So I am really excited to be adding this in. There we go, we've got some nice smooth curves. And before I start making the shape, I also want to bring a road across the top here as well. And I'm thinking I'm going to extend this one. Although I really do want the trains to be at the edge. So maybe I'll have this go over a bridge. Yeah, that'll be quite nice actually. So I'll save the bridge for another day. But for now, let's see if we can start adding in this road. And it is always good to add something segment by segment, and I'm really hoping that with this technique we can make a curve that's nice and smooth. That is the plan anyway. There we go, I'm quite proud of that curve. That's looking really nice. Now, of course, we cannot have people walking directly next to a train line, so we're going to need to add a fence in here. And what best way to start the sort of wood theme we're going for than a nice little wooden fence? I am now going to copy this the entire way across, so bear with me. Okay, so the fence is in, and now I think we can start working on some terrain. Now, obviously, this is going to be quite a thin valley, but I feel like we should open it out a little bit more towards the end here. So I'm going to need a little bit more space. And like this, we can have a sort of widening in the land, and it's not going to feel too much just like one big trench. Okay, so now it's time to do something which I actually haven't done in a very long time, and that is build some of these cliff walls. I cannot believe the last time I've done this is all the way back building this lake. That was such a long time ago. But anyways, here we are, and I am going to start over this side. We're going to have a couple levels. Yeah, this is going to take me quite a while. I think I'm going to start over in this corner and just sort of work my way around. Okay, that is one stretch of cliffs done. I've just sort of realized how long this is going to take me. I best knuckle down and get going. Alright, so that is one side done. Now I've got to do the other side. And unfortunately, to make sure that this looks organic and natural, there is no copy and pasting, because otherwise it will be very obvious that bits of the cliff look exactly the same. Okay, so that took me ages, but it's now done. Now I've got to go and fill in all of these gaps between the layers. This shouldn't take that long at all. And now it's actually starting to look like a bit of a valley, so we're finally getting somewhere. Now, before we move on to the dam, there is one more thing I want to add, and that is down at the bottom. I feel like this shouldn't just be sort of grass. So I'm going to add some of these cylinders down at the base of the cliffs, but instead of them being grass, I want to have some sort of stone texture. And yeah, there we go. Just like that, we've got something that looks a little bit more grungy and a little less perfect, which I really like. Now, what I'm also going to do is lower the terrain that I've added here, because obviously originally there would have been a river through this valley, but now because of the dam, all the water's going to be held back here. But I still want there to be a path that the river would have taken. Looks like we just need to fill in this bit quickly. And so what I'm going to do is maybe dress that up and add a bit more of this sort of stuff and make it look a bit kind of more like a marshland now where the river once stood. So I think we should start off with a pebble texture on the bottom, and then I'm just going to come along with a little bit of mud as well, and then maybe from where the river has dried up we can add these sort of tufts of grass poking through, and this is just going to add a little bit of life down to the bottom of this sort of trench really. You know what, that is looking really cool. I'm quite happy with how that turned out. Just for some final touches, I might add a tiny bit of grass poking through at the bottom of the cliffs, but only sort of on areas that are quite far away from the river, just to show that nature, you know, maybe is coming back again. And there we go. That is the valley looking really, really nice. Okay, so we are almost done. There is only a couple things we've got left to do, and that is, of course, a whole load of foliage. Before we do that, though, I'm going to add a couple of rocks in here and there. And, of course, we are definitely going to need some down here on the riverbed. And then we can come along with our trees and make this whole place come alive. And there we go, we have got a nice looking valley. Now that is pretty much all we have time for today. We will be coming and building the dam next episode, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.